Cancel.
Schweezy.
Okay. All right, this is from NBC News. Taylor Swift slams Blur frontman's claim that she doesn't write her own songs as false. Taylor Swift hits back at a music industry peer for claiming she doesn't write her own songs, dismissing her contributions to her music as co-writing. Damon Albarn, songwriter and frontman of the band Blur, and side note, also one of the guys behind the Gorillaz, the cartoon band, told the Los Angeles Times in an interview published Sunday that much of the modern music is popular because of the sound and the attitude behind it, rather than the song being good. When the interviewer mentioned Swift as an example of an excellent songwriter, Albarn responded that she doesn't write her own songs. I know what co-writing is, Albarn said. Co-writing is very different to writing. I'm not hating on anyone. I'm just saying there's a big difference between a songwriter and a songwriter who co-writes. Swift, who has been credited as a songwriter on all of her studio albums, responded to his comment on Twitter. She said she was once a fan of Albarn, but even if he didn't like her songs, he didn't have to discredit her work. I write all of my own songs, Swift said. Your hot take is complete false and so damaging. Albarn replied to Swift on Twitter saying the greater conversation he had with her at the interviewer was reduced to clickbait. I apologize unreservedly and unconditionally, Albarn wrote. The last thing I would want to do is discredit your songwriting. I hope you understand. In 2010, Swift released her third album, Speak Now, as the sole credited songwriter. It was nominated for a Grammy for Best Country Album, and her song Mean won Best Country Song and Best Country Solo Performance. Swift told Rolling Stone in 2019 that she took on the entire album specifically as a reaction to comments about whether she wrote her own music. She also addressed those who doubted her songwriting success in her 2019 acceptance speech for Billboard's Woman of the Decade award. Swift said she saw how people try to explain away a woman's success. I saw as a female in the industry, some people will always have slight reservations about you, Swift said. Whether you deserve to be there, whether a male producer or co-writer is the reason for your success, or whether it was a savvy record label. It wasn't. I'm very... First of all, I can't think of any Blur songs on my head, and I have to imagine they only have like one good song, if that's the case. Second, the Gorillaz... They have like Feel Good Inc. and I think they have another one that I can't remember at the moment, which says a lot about who the Gorillaz are. My camera just shook. Just kicked my desk again. Okay. It says a lot about you as an artist, but I could not be a Taylor Swift fan. I could probably name like 5 Taylor Swift songs off the top of my head, but I know I can't name a single Blur song off the top of my head, and I can't think of any more than Feel Good Inc., and I think you may have one other good song too. And the fact that your cartoons was cool for like one album, but they kept going. I don't think the Gorillaz are that good, and I don't think the idea of a cartoon band is cool at all. And they had like a TV show on MTV I tried watching, and it was literal toilet humor, like. It's bad toilet humor when I don't like it, because I love that shit. Like a Seth Rogen movie, I love most of my TikTok is just garbage. People like, I need a TikTok girlfriend because I want to lick her pussy. And I'm like, okay, buddy, you're going on a little too strong there. Other than that, I feel like, you don't have anything. And the big thing I'll have to say in regards to this statement you said, first of all, let's discredit your work, because I don't think you have a lot of good work. You picked like the worst person to pick in the co-writing field, because Taylor is very, very smart about how she writes her lyrics, and anytime you see, and let's be honest here, I'm gonna tell you a little industry secret about music or about songwriting. A lot of times, if you see 2 writers on a song, but also one of those writers was also the producer on the song, there's a good chance that the producer just made the music and the artist wrote the lyrics. It's usually how it goes. You typically get co-writing credit because technically you wrote the music, and legally it's a lot easier to just deal with that. And everyone gets credit. It's just an easier situation. You kind of have to be like one of the literal worst peoples in the world. if that doesn't happen. A lot of times they're in the room together making the song, not just like, and a lot of times the artist is usually the one working on lyrics over the music. Music is usually the producer. That's most of the time. Sometimes you see like 5 people on the list. That's co-writing. That's 100% co-writing. Sometimes, and like, it's very rare I see like song written by me, produced by them, because it's just a weirder situation. Sometimes they do that. I don't know. Well, I mean, I'm just gonna say that, a little secret for all of you who don't know, that a lot of times if you see 2 people who wrote a song, but one of those people is the producer, means one person probably wrote lyrics, one person made the music. They're usually more focused on the music in the session than they are with writing lyrics. FYI. So very, very stupid. Like, you picked like the worst artist. Like, why don't you just go after like Elton John? You know, Elton John doesn't write any of his lyrics. Why don't you go after Elvis Presley? He doesn't write any of his own music. But you picked Taylor Swift, who has been proven to write her own music and even released an album that she was the only songwriter on. So literally the worst example you could have put up. Do what I do. Make sure you back up your dumbass statements. And then maybe one day you could be, wish you were a better man. And did you know that Taylor wrote that song? And I listened to it for the first time on the Red Taylor's version. But some other band, what is that band? Well, Better Man. Who was the one? I know that dorky ass band with the girl with the Little Big Town. That chick with like the really big hair. Though that band's such a dork. FYI, I just think their music's fine. They're fine. They're great musicians. They're kind of dorky. I'm just saying that. That's all I'm saying. And I should probably move on. Hey, you just finished one of the many highlights from Cancel Schweezy. We got plenty more on the channel, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, and if you like what you just watched, go ahead and smash that like button as well. Go subscribe for more so we can teach you how to be a better human in our world. So yeah, stay awesome.